Place as Ottawa Fury FC take on Montreal Impact in a friendly here in what should be a fantastic game to watch. Lots of young talent on display for Montreal. Graham Ivory alongside me, Tyler McDonald, and Graham. This is something for soccer fans in Canada to watch and get to know a lot of the Montreal Impact of the future and the Ottawa Fury FC team that have a lot to prove against another MLS team.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for Ottawa Fury FC tonight to once again take on MLS opposition, and in addition to it being a friendly against the Montreal Impact, a very special night for one of the best ever, if not the best ever, players to wear the Canadian men's national team jersey, to wear an Ottawa Fury FC jersey, and that's their assistant coach and assistant general manager coming out of retirement tonight to play in one final match, and a great opportunity for fans to actually get a chance to say goodbye to Julian De Guzman, who really had to finish last season injured, playing his last professional game on the 30th of July. So almost 12 months ago, we last saw Julian De Guzman in action, and we'll get to see him as a second half substitute here tonight.
Very fitting with the Gold Cup going on, the national team doing so well. We'll get to that at halftime, but for now, let's focus on the Montreal Impact and what they have to bring in this game. Some names you might recognize: Nick Depew and Michael Salazar, two Ottawa Fury members, two Impact members that played with the Ottawa Fury FC so far this season. Their thoughts and your thoughts, Graham, on what they can prove in this game as well.
Well, look, we only saw Nick Depew for just the one game, 6'5" striker. He was their first overall pick in the MLS Super Draft this past year. Look, this is a big body player, and he's certainly going to create a lot of hard work for the Fury FC defenders here tonight. And Michael Salazar, well, we saw him in 4 games for Ottawa, and boy, did he ever fit in really quickly with his teammates, with the system that Paul Dalglish is playing with here in Ottawa. So 2 goals, 1 assist in those 4 contests with Ottawa Fury FC. Michael Salazar, certainly a player to watch. And for some of these players who aren't earning big-time minutes right now this season with the Montreal Impact, this is an opportunity for them to showcase their ability, prove that, hey, look, while this team isn't having the season that they expected to, that perhaps they can contribute to turning things around for the Impact this season.
Well, when speaking to Julian De Guzman before the game, he said, well, I just hope I don't disappoint my teammates. I'm sure everyone's excited to see him on the pitch. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a call here with Montreal Impact on Ottawa Fury FC. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Back inside TD Place. AJ Jakubek, Graham Ivory with you as we get set for a special night. It is a friendly between Ottawa Fury FC and the Montreal Impact, the third MLS side that Ottawa Fury FC will face. It's the second friendly in club history. They lost 1-0 to Rangers FC back in 2014, but a lot to be excited about. You guys talked about Julian De Guzman, and certainly we'll bring that up throughout the match. But for Ottawa Fury, they've got 4 matches coming up in a row at home. They're 10th in the 15-team USL Eastern table. I think this is an opportunity for them to use a number of different players. We're going to see a lot of different players in the first and second halves and tee up for what is a huge stretch in their season.
Yeah, most definitely, AJ. And it's an opportunity for Paul Dalglish's side to perhaps gain some confidence against the Montreal Impact side, who has also struggled of late. And Ottawa could certainly use a dose of confidence heading in to this 4-game home stretch. It's very crucial to their season, and they've done well against MLS opposition, especially here at TD Place, winning both fixtures against Toronto FC and the Vancouver Whitecaps over the past 2 seasons. So that's big, but also an opportunity for Paul Dalglish to see some of the players that don't earn major minutes. And the depth of a squad is important, especially heading into the second half of the year. And you look at a guy who's starting in goal tonight in David Palmain. We've yet to see him in action for Ottawa Fury FC. Callum Irving has played every minute of every game thus far. So an opportunity to see what some of these players are able to do. Try some new things, some new systems, and see if you can get things all set and squared away ahead of Saturday's contest against Rochester.
Let's have a look at the starting 11 for both teams. It's brought to you by Gabriel's Pizza, Ottawa's bigger, better pizza, 310-77-77. As you mentioned, David Palmain gets his first start in goal this year for Fury in a 3-4-2-1. Kyle Venter, Thomas Mayer-Giguère, and Shane McElhinney in the back. Above them, Andre Campbell, Sergio Minicio, Jamar Dixon, Eddie Edward. Then it's Ryan Williams and Adonijah Reed making his Fury debut. Steven DeSantos, the lone man up front. For Montreal, as we look at their starting 11, it is Kronberg. Then you've got Duval, Cabrera, Lefebvre, Lovitz, Belon Goyette, Oduro, Malice, Salazar, Chaume, and Depew. And for this Montreal side, we've seen both Nick Depew and Michael Salazar play for Fury colors. Now, those players on loan with Ottawa earlier this year will play against Ottawa here today. And Fury wearing their away kits, moving right to left in this first half. The white shirts with the black sleeves, white shorts, white socks. And Montreal with their blue shirts, the black shorts and blue socks. And they will move left to right in the opening 45 minutes. As we get to our keys to the game, Graham Ivory.
3 keys to an Ottawa victory, and yes, it might be a friendly, but as we mentioned, certainly an opportunity to gain some confidence heading into this 4-game homestand. Key number 1, use the crowd. Over 7K expected in attendance here tonight, so Ottawa Fury FC need to use the crowd to their advantage. Key number 2, position and patience. Montreal's possession and passing game can be lethal at times. Ottawa must remain in position and patient when not in possession. And the third key, press, press, press. Push the Impact defenders deep inside their own half. Take away time, options, and space. Montreal has been bleeding goals in their last 4 or 5 matches, so certainly want to test their defensive game out here this evening, and those are the 3 keys to an Ottawa victory tonight.
And right off the bat, they will get a free kick from a dangerous spot left of center. And about 20 yards out, as the referee today is Caroline Chenard, assistants Marianne Gagnon-Chrétien and Sean Hornsby. Chris Grabus is the 4th official. So great opportunity, and it will be Callum Malice with the right-footed effort. And oh, what a brilliant strike by Malice in the 3rd minute. A free kick goal that bends in just inside that far post, and Malice makes it 1-0 Montreal Impact.
Oh, that was a great delivery from the man wearing the captain's armband for the Impact tonight, Callum Malice. Right-footed effort, curls it up and over the wall and inside the near post beyond the outstretched arms of David Palmain. A good diving effort, but that is as precise as a free kick as you can ask for, and the Montreal Impact nabbed the early lead.
As you mentioned, wearing the captain's armband today, the Scottish midfielder with 77 games to his credit with Montreal makes it 1-0 early as Fury look to get their bearings here. One player I do want to ask you about making his Fury debut today, Adonijah Reed, signed earlier this week, and a player at 17 years old with a lot of promise.
Yeah, no question, and it was a great opportunity for Paul Dalglish to add a young player to his squad, 5'6", and had been training with FC Dallas, so a great opportunity for Ottawa to have a player in their midfield who certainly has shown a lot of promise at the development stage, and we'll see what he can do when he might be making his USL debut. Could be as early as Saturday afternoon against Rochester.
Fury in possession inside their own half. Here's Kyle Venter. He'll move this across, and it goes all the way wide right. Eddie Edward now to Shane McElhaney. Dixon plays this ahead. Minicio wide left for Campbell. One touch. Trying to turn is Ryan Williams, and Williams has it near touchline. Back into the middle for Dixon. Now Shane McElhaney. Head on the right side, sent out a touch for a Fury throw in the 5th minute, trailing 1-0. In for Dixon. Chests it down. Montreal able to get possession. It's Depew. Sends this wide left. And they'll play it back to the halfway line as it comes to the Argentinian Victor Cabrera, former River Plate player. Now Duval. Malice, his ball read well by Venter, who sends this out of touch just inside the Montreal half for an impact throw. And Fury win a throw right back. Well, it is the first year of an agreement between Ottawa Fury FC and the Montreal Impact. And part of that deal, a friendly match that comes to TD Place. Again, Ottawa has played against Vancouver and Toronto in the Canadian Championship, is making a run down the left side. It's Lovitz. And he gets the ball back from Salazar. Fury winning both of their matches, competitive matches both, against MLS opposition at TD Place. Winning 2-0 last year against Vancouver and 2-1 this year against Toronto FC. They lost 3-2 on aggregate to the Whitecaps and 5-2 on aggregate to TFC. So MLS opposition here in this stadium, it has been kind to Ottawa, at least in the Voyageurs Cup.
When you talk about the partnership with the Montreal Impact, AJ, that was announced back on the 9th of December, but there's certainly always been ties between Ottawa Fury FC and the Montreal Impact. A little bit of trivia for you, Mr. Jackie Beck. Outside of the 6 players we've seen this season, the 4 signed with Ottawa Fury FC and the 2 on loan, how many ties in the club history is there to the Montreal Impact?
Jeremy Lapere-Gagnon.
You got one.
There's one. I'm not sure I can get the other 3 off. That one comes to mind. He didn't play much for Ottawa until Mason Trafford got sent off in the Soccer Bowl against the New York Cosmos, and on comes Lapere-Gagnon. So there's one. As Reed looks to dispossess the Impact, and it comes back to their keeper Kronberg, who launches it just inside the Ottawa half.
There's actually 9 players and staff total. 9.
Well, Mark DeSantos.
Yes.
There's.
Well, we got to go through it all.
So now I need 2 more, is what you're saying?
No. There's 9 total, not including the 6 this year. Outside, prior to this season, 9 players or staff.
Brad Smith.
I'm not including Brad Smith, but yes, that would make it 10. One of the best equipment guys you'll see. He's actually going to be a busy man tonight as Miami FC take on FC Cincinnati in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup.
Impact push this to the left side as they go forward about 30 yards out. Shamit Shom, who we've seen play numerous times against Ottawa as a member of FC Edmonton, still doesn't have an MLS appearance for Montreal, but a young Canadian talent. Montreal in possession. It's Oduro. And now Williams able to win it. And here comes Williams down the left side as DeSantos to his right, 20 yards out. Williams inside the Montreal penalty area and forced to play it back to Andre Campbell. Campbell on his left foot with the cross, and it's punched out. And a foul called against DeSantos as he collided with the keeper Kronberg. And a free kick for Montreal Impact.
Yeah, the veteran keeper Eric Kronberg, 34 years of age, 6'5", comes out to challenge. Going up against the guy in 6'4", Steven DeSantos, and he had to punch that one away, and that was flipped on the legs as DeSantos came through alongside Vondre Lefebvre.
Well, Maxim Tissot is another player that came over from the Montreal Impact.
I'm confident I can stump you on this.
Oh, 100% you are. As Fury go forward, across the back three and ahead for Eddie Edward, now to Jamar Dixon. As we approach 10 minutes played, Ottawa Fury FC 0, Montreal Impact 1. Impact worked this wide right. Oduro, nice little back heel here for Malice. Now Oduro, near touchline. Goes high into the air where DeSantos with a high boot is going to be called the other way. Foul against Salazar. Free kick for Ottawa Fury.
Well, Steven DeSantos trying to break forward, gets tied up with Bélin Goyette, who draws the foul.
Fury at the halfway line. It's Venter all the way back to his keeper. And Paulin will move it forward for Shane McElhaney. Nice one-touch ball there, Ryan Williams. Now he takes it from Minicio. Ahead for Campbell. Good ball. Here's Campbell inside the Montreal penalty area. Left-footed shot and a save made off the chest by Kronberg as Andre Campbell with a good run down the left, taking that ball from Ryan Williams.
Yeah, I like the work from Andre Campbell. We've talked so much about the pace and the energy that he brings to Ottawa's attack. Also responsible defensively, but Campbell gets forward, drops the shoulder, gets inside the penalty area. Good save from Kronberg. Apologies.
Oh, good tackle there by Minicio. And Fury go forward. DeSantos with a shot, and that's blocked by Lovitz. There is an injured Montreal player, and that's Vondre Lefebvre, the Canadian with 3 caps for Canada. Hopefully he's going to be okay. That was a hard challenge by Minicio. Martin Ashe played for Montreal, didn't he?
There you go. I thought that might be one of the stumpers.
Most of his career was in Vancouver, obviously, but...
Yep. 2003, the one season that Martin Ashe, former Fury assistant coach.
Philip DeSantos, obviously.
No, he
was not?
No,
okay.
No.
You know what? I'm going to let you fill in the blanks now.
All right. So Sinisha Parapovic.
Yes.
Pierre Rudolph Maillard.
Yes.
Better known as Papouche. A member of the Fury midfield in their inaugural season, Tony Donatelli. In the 2015 season.
Might have had better hair than you.
That's not possible. That's a stretch. Jonathan Valet in 2015. And of course you mentioned a couple others, but the one that people may not realize, albeit he never played a competitive match for them, is the man who wears number 9 for the club this season. He's not in action tonight, and that's Carl Haworth, who was drafted by the Montreal Impact in the 2002 MLS supplemental drafts. Featured for them in preseason as well as 2 reserve league fixtures, and
I'm not counting that.
Hey, I'm just telling you. Hey, that was in the match notes. If you did if you did the prep work, you just had to read page 1.
You've got to at least play for them.
Well, he did. Played in preseason.
Doesn't show up on his Wikipedia page. That's all that matters.
Well, actually, there's a line about him being drafted by the Impact in his Wikipedia page. I'll let him know that you think his career doesn't count. So
he's one of the most important players in Fury history.
Yes, sir. From way back in the day.
Here's Schoen. Salazar back to Schoen. And he'll play it back into the Impact half. Cross on the right for Duval. Now Belon Goyette. Ball wide right. Eddie Edward heads it away, and it comes back inside the Impact half. 15th minute. Ottawa Fury FC 0. Montreal Impact 1 on that beautiful 3rd minute free kick goal from their captain today, Scotsman Callum Malice. Lovitz. One touch from Schoen, wide left Salazar. Now Malice. Cabrera. Center circle it goes. This ball read by Venter, comes back to Paulmet. Williams sends it forward into the Montreal half, and Cabrera gets it away from Dos Santos back to his keeper. And this is played for Oduro by Kronberg. Dominic Oduro with 63 MLS goals spread across 11 seasons with Dallas, New York Red Bull, Houston, Chicago, Columbus, Toronto, and Montreal. A lot of experience from Dominic Oduro, the Ghanaian. Capped once for Ghana. As it comes ahead on the left side. And they push it back to Cabrera. 40 yards out. Now Belon Goyette with all sorts of experience at the youth level for Canada, U18, U20, U23. Just one game played in MLS for Montreal Impact, coming up through their academy system as Oduro wins the ball back from Ryan Williams, and the Impact push it across the back four just inside their own half. Depew called for the foul, and this will be a free kick for Ottawa deep inside their own half. Here's Callum Malice. Loses it to Ryan Williams. Out of Benicio. He's tripped up. Free kick for Ottawa. And this one will be about 40 yards out. Left of center. Ryan Williams will look this over. Well, he certainly has the ability to score from distance on free kicks. This one would look to be a little too far out for him. As Williams sends this inside the 18-yard box. Dos Santos trying to win it, and he does well here. Plays it across the 6-yard box, and it troubled Kronberg a little bit, but he's still able to gather it and push everyone forward.
Yeah, good work by Steven Dos Santos, and really using his size and his frame to win possession, turn his man, and get inside the area. And might have even been better suited to go for goal, even though from an acute angle.
Now here's Salazar for Montreal, 25 yards out. Ball inside the penalty area for Lovitz, and it's sent across where Palmain will just hold it. One player on the bench today excited to see is Ballou, the young Canadian who's played at the youth level for Canada but has options for Canada and also Ivory Coast. Shame on Didier Drogba trying to recruit him.
Well, and the good news that he received today from Major League Soccer is that he's been named to the MLS homegrown game squad that will take place on August 1st. They will take on Chivas Guadalajara, the under-20 side.
Ooh, Eddie Edward with a good run, and he's going to win a free kick for Ottawa on a very dangerous spot about 12 yards out, just outside the penalty area on the right side, as Daniel Lovitz is called for the foul. And good work by Eddie Edward. We're going to push this back to about 20 yards out, still to the right of the penalty area. So a 21st minute free kick here. And it is Ryan Williams delivering and gets it inside the 6-yard box, but it's headed away for an Ottawa throw.
That went off the back of the head of Victor Cabrera.
In for Andre Campbell. To the halfway line, Mayer Jaguar. McElhaney, wide right, Edward. Now Shane McElhaney.
Who do you think he's picking in the Mayweather-McGregor fight?
Wow. I know who he's cheering for. Is he actually picking?
I don't know. We'll have to ask.
Conor McGregor's going to get smoked.
You heard it here first.
It's
decisive.
The only question is, does Mayweather decide? There's one of two things that Mayweather's going to decide. He's either
starting to regret the
well, you brought it up. It's not my fault. Does he decide he just doesn't want to get hit, and so it's going to go longer than expected, and McGregor just doesn't hit him at all? Or does he decide to open it up and pound McGregor in like a round or two and end it? Floyd doesn't really have the history of opening things up in those types of fights, so doesn't get hit often. 23rd minute. So we're now at the midway point of this first half, and Montreal started things off with a bang with that 3rd-minute goal from Callum Malice.
So I just got chirped from my Fury Impact trivia by a former Fury player, a man who scored a clutch goal for FC Edmonton on the weekend, and Mario Eustachiou. I forgot a player from the 2014 season, Zakaria Masudi.
There you go.
Jeez.
Nice to see Mauro's paying attention.
Front page in the
and a hello to Mauro
of the Edmonton Sun.
One of my favorites on and off the pitch for Ottawa Fury. Good people. 24th minute, 1-0 Montreal as Shane McElhaney sends it forward to Santos. Looked like he was fouled there by Lefebvre, but referee says play on, and here comes Salazar down the left side. Salazar inside, plays it across, and able to get back and prevent any damage as it comes into the arms of Paulin. It was Venter who got that touch. Unlimited substitutions, and should mention the subs today for Ottawa, 10 of them. Andrew McRae, Ramon Martin Del Campo, Aaron Makangilwa, Jonathan Barden, Jimmy Chamarsano, Gerardo Bruna, Cito, Azake Luboyera, Tucker Hume, and of course, Julian De Guzman, who will make his appearance at some point in the second half. Nice send-off for the former Fury and Canada captain. It's James Pantemis, Kyle Fisher, Balou, David Chouanière, and Hernan Bernardello, the 5 available subs for Montreal. So again, we'll see, especially from an Ottawa perspective, wholesale changes in the second half. Not quite at halftime. Some will come on a little bit later in the second half, as is expected with one Julian De Guzman. Here's Lefebvre for Montreal. Comes back to Bélan Goyette. Now Duval. Oduro, one touch. Duval. Into the middle, now it comes back to Malice. Lefebvre. Center circle now to Callum Malice. Wide right, Duval. Malice. Back to Cabrera. Bélan Goyette moves this wide left and goes out of touch, and Fury in possession with a throw. Again, the first of 5 straight home matches for Ottawa Fury, with 4 coming up in a row in league play this Saturday against Rochester. That's a 2 o'clock start, and then 3 straight 7 o'clock starts, which always helps in terms of the weather. Ball given away here. Andre Campbell has it for Ottawa. His ball just didn't get to DeSantos. The Impact comfortably in possession with Bélan Goyette moving it back to Cabrera. So again, it's Rochester this Saturday at 2 o'clock, and those 3 straight 7 o'clock matches against TFC2, Bethlehem Steel, and the red-hot Charlotte Independence. Ottawa 10th, and in need of a few wins to put themselves in a comfortable spot in the playoffs. 8 out of 15 make it in USL East. Right now they sit 1 point out of 8, and they do have a game in hand on the teams ahead of them in New York Red Bulls 2 and Orlando City B. So still a lot of time as we are at officially the midway point of the season. Ball into the air for Oduro, and Oduro will put this towards goal on the volley, and unable to get this on target, and Paulin grabs it for Ottawa.
Yeah, Dominic Oduro knows that he missed an opportunity there. Good first touch, and then he couldn't hit it cleanly. A great ball from Callum Malice, who's really been bossing the midfield for the Montreal Impact through 28 minutes. Dominic Oduro in his 12th season in Major League Soccer, 3rd with the Montreal Impact. Of course, prior to joining Montreal, had been with Toronto FC briefly.
Here's Sergio Minicio for Ottawa. Plays this ball over the top, looking for DeSantos, but Cabrera heads it away, and Montreal in possession just before the halfway line. Here's Bélan Goyette. Wide left, Lovitz. Now Lefebvre. Malice. Lefebvre. Shamet Sholm comes towards Depew, and that's headed away by Thomas Meyer-Giguère. Opportunity for him to play here today. Has seen a lot of time as a substitute on the bench for Ottawa this season. But nice to see him get some action. Oh, good work by Eddie Edward cutting inside, but coming across to knock it away was Louis Bélan-Goyette. It'll be an Ottawa throw.
And that was a good win there on the last challenge by Meyer-Giguère, going up against the much bigger Nick Depew. You're talking at about 5 inches of difference between the two players. Eddie Edwards had a couple of good moves down that right-hand side, and he just has that one move where you don't know if he's going to try and push it past you and beat you for pace down the right side or cut into the middle. Be very, very elusive with that, and we've seen him use both options so far this evening.
Salazar called for the foul, and Ottawa with a free kick just inside the Montreal half. Meyer-Giguère. Now for Venter. Wide left Campbell. 30 yards out. With the cross, it's headed away, but right to Ryan Williams. Now DeSantos wins the ball. Gets it back to Minicio, the shot, and that misses wide of the target as they're looking for a foul. I don't have a problem with that. He's stronger.
Oh, look, there was nothing there. That's just big bodies going in for the ball. Shoulder challenge there. Steven DeSantos, good effort there from Sergio Minicio as he had to get it away quickly, unable to get his boot around it to get it on target. Santos doing a good job of winning some of those balls inside the penalty area. That's the 3rd ball that he's won.
Impact in possession, 32nd minute. Fury trailing 1-0. As it comes to DeSantos, he's tripped up, dead center, and about 30 yards out as Vondre Lefebvre concedes this free kick. Will we see Ryan Williams go for goal here?
Well, it's at a favorable distance, and he's also centered a goal, so if there's ever an opportunity, this is a good one for Ryan Williams.
Well, we've seen a free kick goal the other way from...
Not sure he's got 10 yards, to be honest, but...
No, they haven't given him 10 yards. All you have to do, like... Anyways.
Well, look, you just have to look at the way that they've kind of groomed the field,
exactly.
And you're marking it off 5 yards at a time.
Yeah, should be... need to see better refereeing than that from Caroline Chenard. Quite simple. I don't know if she forgot her magic spray today, but that's why they have the magic spray in the first place. That eliminated that problem from the game when you decide to use it. It's not that hard. Bring your spray, put it down, no issues. Did you bring your magic spray today?
Yeah, but that's just to make me smell good.
As Mike Sutherland said, it's in your hair, so
well, that too.
Apparently that's why we're not allowed to use the spray on the field. Too much in your hair.
I see. To quote one Aaron John Jackieback, my bad.
Fury in possession here at the halfway line. It's Steven DeSantos. Sent into the middle by Venter for Minicio. Now back to Shane McElhaney. Thomas Meyer-Giguère. Gets this forward and ball gets away from Minicio. Here's Depew for Montreal, gives up possession. Now Andre Campbell for Ottawa. Dangerous in space. And he's got some space. It's closed down by two players as Minicio gets the ball now. Dixon trying to move this wide right, and the ball just went on with his foot the wrong way as he was looking to get that ball out wide to Eddie Edward. Impact in possession. 35th minute, they lead 1-0. Comes wide right near touchline. It's Duval. And now they push forward. A good ball from Bélin Goyette running after it, Oduro, but he's going to concede a throw here. Perfect night for soccer, not too hot and nice cool breeze. I know it was 22 at kickoff. And it is 20 degrees right now. Impact push it across on the left side, and now Lefebvre in possession. Louis Bélin Goyette, wide right Duval. Ahead for Malice. Winning it away from him is Maher Giguère. Dixon caught in possession. It comes back Oduro. Certainly highly skilled on the ball. As Cabrera will play it all the way back to his keeper Kronberg, who has been tested most notably by Andre Campbell, but it's that 3rd minute goal on a free kick from Callum Malice that has Montreal in front 1-0, 37th minute. Malice right now. Minicio knocks it away. It will be an Ottawa throw as it goes off Malice last. Kyle Venter will take this. Much like Ottawa, outside a playoff position with games in hand and the teams above them. Montreal in the same spot. They're 9th in the 11-team Eastern Conference in MLS. 7 points out of 6th, but with games in hand and all the teams ahead of them. So, while not in a favorable spot, still lots of time and lots of games for Montreal to get back in the postseason. We've had a couple of memorable playoff matchups against Toronto recently. Toronto winning that Eastern Conference final last year on aggregate, went into extra time. The ball goes forward for Depew, but the offside flag is up. And the year before it was Montreal who got the best of Toronto. It was just a single elimination match. And I just remember TSN 690's Tony Marinaro ringing the bell and looked way too happy for my liking on that occasion. Not that I had a dog in that fight. Tony's good people. Tony's been on the TSN 1200 airwaves whenever Montreal and Ottawa play one another. Probably a lot more popular in Montreal and Ottawa, and that's the way it typically goes. Fury pushing forward here. They're going to get a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. Good run there, and falling is Reed.
Well, Jamar Dixon, who started the run kind of with a determined run through the midfield, and then outside of the right boot plays it forward to Adonijah Reed. Gets to the lip of the 18-yard box, and he's brought down. And well, great opportunity for Ryan Williams here, and this time he'll get that line put out for him.
Andre Campbell over there as well. If they elect to go with a left-footed effort, it is right of center, but see if it's Ryan Williams here. Ryan Williams with the right foot, and he does miss high. Good effort, but unable to equal what we saw on the other side. Obviously not as good an angle when you're a right-footed player as when we saw Callum Mala score in the 3rd minute.
Yeah, so it's tricky when a right-footed player is trying to do what Ryan Williams just did. You got to get it not only up and over the wall, but you got to get it curled back around so you can get it away from center of the goal. Good effort all the same from the Englishman, and the opportunities have been coming for Ottawa, and once again we see when they attack with pace, it's when they look ever so dangerous and create opportunities. Just to finish your earlier thought on the Montreal Impact, and yes, they do have games in hand and they do have some ground to make up, and coming off a 3-1 loss to Houston in Houston on the 5th of July, they'll enjoy the weekend off and they'll return to action on Wednesday the 19th when they host the Philadelphia Union. And then the following Saturday, the 22nd, they'll welcome FC Dallas before they travel the following Saturday to take on the New York Red Bull at Red Bull Arena. So 3 games in the course of 10 days for the Montreal Impact when they return to action in MLS.
Here's Andre Campbell with a shot, and that's stopped again by Kronberg. So Campbell's had a couple of efforts on target. Montreal still leading 1-0.
Yeah, I like the game from Andre Campbell tonight, and Paul Dalglish, I think, is going to use him probably for the full 90 because, of course, he will not be in action Saturday afternoon against Rochester, picking up a 2nd yellow and resulting in a red card late in the game against Toronto FC too, so he'll have to serve that 1-match suspension. Interestingly enough, both red cards that Andre Campbell has seen this year have come against TFC2. Albeit the first one resulted in a 3-match ban.
Ottawa 3 points this year against Toronto FC in 2 matches. 1 point in 2 matches against Toronto FC2. Right at the bottom of the table in the USL East. Those are points you hope you don't regret not picking up later in the season, but again, 16 matches down, 16 to go. A lot of time left for Ottawa to move up from 10th spot.
Well, and I think that's perhaps is the mark of a team that knows how to win versus a team that's still learning how to win, is that, oftentimes you'll see teams play to the level of their opposition. And, perhaps we're seeing that against Toronto FC too, albeit Ottawa did dominate that game in virtually every category you would want to see your team dominate, short of what we saw on the scoreboard to end the match. But really looked good in the possession game. The passing game was strong, and not only did they create chances, but so many chances and opportunities inside the penalty area. So they were certainly able to get penetration into the penalty area, but need to finish those opportunities.
Cross headed over the bar by Lefebvre. And so Ottawa with a corner now from the near corner flag. This will be a right-footed in-swinger from Ryan Williams in the 43rd minute. Ottawa Fury FC 0, Montreal Impact 1. And here's the effort from Ryan Williams towards the back post. And it's going to be a goal kick.
Well, there are several regulars from the Montreal Impact that are not here this evening, and Nacio Piatti being one of the main ones, Marco Donadel, Matteo Mancosu, but 3 names that are not in action this evening, and for a good reason. The captain, Patrice Bernier, goalkeeper Maxime Trépeau, as well as the youngster Anthony Jackson Hamel, who scored early in June at Stade Saputo in that win over Curaçao late in the match, but all 3 are featuring for Canada in the CONCACAF Gold Cup that Tyler and I will discuss during the intermission, but great start inside the opening 2 games for Canada with that 4-2 win over French Guiana and that 1-1 draw last night against Costa Rica.
Good ball for Depew, and Depew cannot finish. He was sent in by Salazar, and Depew puts it wide of the far post, so great opportunity for Montreal to take a 2-0 lead, but Depew couldn't hit the target.
And a great through ball there for Nick Depew, and good job by David Palmain to come out and really try and cut down the angle that limited Depew to try and go to the back post, and he couldn't hit it precisely enough to tuck it inside the goal.
It was actually Shamit Shom with the through ball. And Depew unable to finish. 1 minute of stoppage time. That's what we'll see here shortly from the 4th official. Just to finish your thought on the Gold Cup, yeah, terrific start and just a great result yesterday. I mean, it's one thing to beat French Guiana as expected, but to get a 1-1 draw against Costa Rica, a side that reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup. They, in fact, were only knocked out of the last World Cup on penalties by the Dutch. So I mean, it's Mexico number 1, and it's not necessarily the U.S. number 2. Costa Rica and the United States basically battling for the second best CONCACAF nation, so a great result there, and now it's the devil that is Honduras. It's good work from Mayer Jaguar going to ground and forcing Depew to play it outside, the ball in from Duval. And this goes through the 18-yard box, and Ottawa will take care of things with a throw on the far touchline. Hear from Paul Dalglish at halftime as well. Forward to those comments. And there is the halftime whistle. And, well, Ottawa with a lot of great opportunities. Montreal with one great opportunity early, one great opportunity late that Depew couldn't finish. In between, Ottawa probably with the best of the opportunities, but touch of class from Callum Malice in the 3rd minute. That free kick goal, a thing of beauty, and that's why the Montreal Impact lead Ottawa Fury FC 1-0. Let's head downstairs now, though, and hear from Paul Dalglish in conversation with Sanisha Sindik.
With Fury FC head coach Paul Dalglish. Paul, trailing 1-0 after 45 minutes. You guys conceded early, but other than that, are you satisfied with this first half?
Yeah, I think we created quite a few chances, but we've got to put those chances away. We keep creating chances, and we've got to start being ruthless in front of goal and start putting them away. Again, the chances that we've given up have all been in transition. Obviously, it's a great free kick. You can't do much about that apart from not give the free kick away. But every other chance that they've had is us giving the ball away and then getting hurt in transition. So we've got to take care of the ball a little bit better. Don't give away stupid free kicks in this second half and take our chances.
A midweek game like this, a friendly against Montreal Impact from the MLS. What does this mean for your club?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. This is the occasions that we want to be part of. We've got a wonderful stadium here, and it deserves to host the best players in the nation, and that's what we're doing tonight.
Thanks, Paul. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dalglish in conversation with Sanisha Sindik. Your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes, Graham Ivory?
No, I think Paul said it best. Like they have to finish those. They have to finish those chances. They work so very hard to create some good opportunities. And make no mistake, this is a very good Montreal team, even without some of the big names that we're used to seeing on a regular basis in their starting 11 in MLS matches. And for me, a guy like Victor Cabrera, this guy is a great center back for the Montreal Impact, and they've created chances against him. They've tested their goalkeeper. Now they have to bury that opportunity, and like Paul said, also be smart about how and where they're giving away free kicks.
Coming up, it's our halftime show. We'll have a look at the halftime stats. Graham will be in conversation with Tyler McDonald. And coming up next, it's a player profile, a man who we'll see play in the second half, former Fury FC and Canadian captain Julian De Guzman. The score at halftime, Ottawa Fury FC 0, Montreal Impact 1. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Growing up and just always believing that one day I would play soccer at a professional level. With my dad teaching me and then my brother was kind of my student. We've always pursued to venture off to Europe at some point in time, and it took a lot of hard work, sacrifices, struggles to beat the odds. Our parents wanted us to take the scholarship route. Growing up we didn't have any professional teams to look towards or any professional leagues in Canada or in America, so it was between school and soccer, and dropping out of grade 10 was one of the biggest risks, or probably the biggest risk of my life, and I don't regret it at all since I left home back in '97. It took I would say a good 7 years of mental preparation and understanding that the game is 90% mental, so that was a huge task. Once I made it to Europe, I just knew it was all me. It was that I couldn't turn to anyone else, and I think that's one of the key things I learned is growing up really fast at a young age, and that's something I also taught my brother at a young age since he was able to leave at the age of 12. So every time I talk to people about my decision coming here and why not try it in Europe, and first and foremost, I love it here. It's my favorite place in the world, Canada. After living in Europe for over 15 years, I've gained to appreciate what Canada has to offer as a country, and also has lots of values or a valuable future in terms of soccer. I think there's a lot of undiscovered talent, and the game continues to grow. Before, when I was growing up in Canada, we never had any professional teams. Now we have over 5 professional teams. I think it's important that I continue to be a part of that, and my goal now that I'm away as a player is to continue to help the game grow, on the side of the pitch. So hopefully that dream will come true down the road.
Oh, welcome to our halftime show. Graham Ivory alongside me, Tyler McDonald, as Montreal leads 1-0 at halftime, and you hear about Julian De Guzman. Of course, we'll see him in the second half, and he talked about, at least previously this year, about him being a young kid and having to move to Europe to really develop as a soccer player. Another young player that really is taking Canada by storm is Alphonso Davies in the Gold Cup right now, Graham, and well, what a talent he is.
Look, he's been incredible. And he is everything that I think Canada has hoped for in so many young players that have come before him, and he's living up to his hype. And tie into Ottawa Fury FC and TD Place, Alphonso Davies made his professional debut with the Vancouver Whitecaps right here at TD Place last year in the Canadian Championship, believe it or not, at the tender age of 15. And he blew people away in that tournament with his performance with the Vancouver Whitecaps, and he's doing it again now for Canada. And he just became a Canadian citizen last month, leading up to that international friendly against Curacao. 2 goals in the opener in that win over French Guiana, a goal last night in the 1-1 draw against Costa Rica. 16 years of age, youngest player to score in the tournament, to score for Canada. This is incredible to see and exciting to see, as well as some of the other young players that we've seen performing through the opening 2 fixtures of this tournament for Canada.
He's the first player born in the 2000s to score in a major FIFA competition. I mean, that's something cool for him to have, but it shows you, how young he is. I mean, I'm not sure if he really was even born for the 2000 Gold Cup win. It would have been pretty close. It would have been at least a couple of months if he was born, but what a start Canada has had. Obviously a 4-2 win against French Guiana, then last night a great performance against Costa Rica, 1-1 draw, and that's a team that you go into knowing Costa Rica is a classified World Cup team, and Canada knows that, but boy did they ever improve and play well, and I thought this was one of the biggest wins for Canada in recent history.
Yeah, no question. That was a huge performance. Look, when they looked at the schedule of this tournament, you knew that Game 1 was the must-win game. Top 2 teams from all groups of the 3 groups get through, and then the 2 best third-place side. They knew if they had any hope of getting out of the group stage, they had to win that opener against French Guiana. Yes, there were some scary moments there when they scored 2 goals a minute apart. But the thing I like most about how they finished that game is they finished it with the youngsters, and Alphonso Davies was the one who kind of put the icing on the cake of that 4-2 win. Then you look at last night's game, again against Costa Rica. Canada attacked the game. For so long, we've seen the Canadian men's national team just trying to absorb, hitting teams on the counter, trying to win opportunities, scoring chances on set pieces. That's not what we're seeing from Octavio Zambrano's side, and I love it. We saw it against French Guiana. They attacked the game. Ultimately, I think that's why they conceded goals as well, is because when you commit players forward, you're often going to be exposed to the back, and you see the finish there from Alphonso Davies last night against Costa Rica. Again, Canada attacking the game, pushing towards goal, some great ball movement around the penalty area. And when you have a young player who's stepping up, playing with that level of intensity, it raises the game of the rest of the players, the rest of the 10 players on the pitch for Canada.
Now it's the dreaded test of the rivals, Honduras, up next. And we all know the Honduran story and how they destroyed us just to get into the Hex. And it was a rivalry that continues to build in CONCACAF. They seem to always have Canada's number. But Canada has been playing very well defensively. Yes, there was that minute and a half, 2 minutes of a lapse during French Guiana, but they played well against Costa Rica defensively. What does Zambrano's team have to do to keep Honduras off the score sheet and get at least a draw out of this, which would advance them into an automatic second place?
Well, look, this is the team that's yet to score in this tournament because they lost their opener 1-0 to Costa Rica. And even though Flora Maluder came in and played for French Guiana last night, and it looks like by default, Honduras will be awarded a 3-0 victory by way of forfeit. They haven't scored yet in this tournament, and they've struggled to create offense. Defensively, look, Canada look very sharp. I love their game going forward, and what a tremendous confidence booster this would be for Canada to get a win over Honduras. It will be symbolic of so much, a monumental turning of the page, and that would put Canada in the driver's seat heading into the knockout stage.
Obviously lots of controversy with French Guiana, and hopefully Canada did end up on the short end of that stick, but that's for CONCACAF to decide. For now, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have second half action from TD Place. 1-0 Montreal leads at halftime. Graham and AJ will have a call in the second half. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Hi guys, Ryan Williams here, 20th edition of Wednesday with Williams. Today is Crossbar Challenge Day. Got all the guys. Let's see who's got the techers.
Aaron Mukungilwa, fullback.
Hey, he really is that tall. He's standing up, you know. Do one! Get out of here!
Andrew McRae, goalkeeper.
Don't go too fast, Butch. You'll lose some more hair follicles. Oh! Hey, Butchie was getting excited then, I could see it in his face.
Andre Campbell, left back.
The general from Jamaica. Oh!
Sito, midfielder.
Oh, nah. We'll have to get an action replay on that, mate. Tell him what flat you didn't took her.
Name's Callum Irving, goalkeeper.
Oh, the big giraffe.
Shane McElhenney, centre back.
Keep pouting, Shane.
Carl Howard, forward.
Nemesis got his new boots on.
Ooh! Tucker Hume, goal scorer.
Oh! That is minging! Oh! So there you have it, guys. The only one in the squad with techers is Andre Campbell. Andre, Wednesday with William Champ this week. Well done. Anything you want to say?
Not really. It was too easy.
You don't hear him speak anyway, he's bored. Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Sito. You watched the replay, man, and your shot made it as well. Do you have something to say to Ryan that he declared Andre the winner and not you?
I mean, I think I got robbed, to be honest. But I think he gave it to me because they're both vegans. So, but after the replay, I feel good. I know I won, so that's all that matters.
See you next week.
Ottawa, our nation's capital. a city of historic sites and national landmarks. The place where Canadians gather to celebrate our shared heritage and promising future. In 2017, Canada marks its 150th birthday, and Ottawa is hosting the biggest parties in the country. And the exclamation point on the entire year will happen right here, as the Ottawa Red Blacks and our nation welcome our nation to the 105th Festival and Grey Cup in Canada's capital in late November. In its first 3 seasons, TD Place has become the premier CFL experience, with strong, proud, and loud sellout crowds cheering on their Red Blacks. Lansdowne offers countless reasons to come early and stay late, and that will make it a truly unique venue for the 2017 Grey Cup Festival. A massive street festival, family and youth activities, cultural celebrations, team parties, an exciting concert series, and the biggest tailgate in the history of the league will all happen on site, celebrating our game and our nation as never before. And it'll all reach a climax with the presentation of the storied Grey Cup in front of 36,000 ecstatic fans in the stands at TD Place. The 105th CFL Grey Cup Festival and Game. Our nation welcomes our nation to Canada's biggest annual sporting celebration, November 2017 at Lansdowne in Ottawa.
Graham Ivory with you as we get set for second half action between Ottawa Fury FC and the Montreal Impact. Montreal leading on a 3rd-minute free kick goal from Callum Malice. When we look at this second half, we'll give you the changes, and there are a lot of them in a moment, but what can we expect from this second Fury FC 11?
Yeah, well, I think, again, you have a mix of players that are your regulars in the squad, as well as some players who don't get a lot of minutes that are going to want to make an impression on Paul Dalglish. And then we're going to get to have the opportunity to see Julian De Guzman just one last time. He'll be coming on around the 60th minute, as will goalkeeper Andrew McRae. He'll come in for David Palme, and we'll see 8 other changes. Andre Campbell looks to be the only player that's expected to play the full 90 here tonight for Paul Dalglish's side.
Well, Ottawa Fury looks to get things going here as we get to second half action here shortly, and Fury down 1-0 to Montreal. That was a brilliant free kick we saw from Callum Malice, curled in from about 20 yards out. That's a piece of brilliance. That's what you get when you see sides at a higher level. I mean, we've seen Ottawa play Toronto FC and Vancouver Whitecaps very tough, especially in this stadium, having won those matches. But sometimes you just see that extra little touch of class, and that's what we saw there from Callum Malice to give Montreal the lead.
Yeah, and what you've seen from Montreal in the first half is just the depth of that squad, because we were talking about 3 of the regulars are missing, Crépeau's the backup goalkeeper, but you're missing 3 guys from the squad that you might see in this match because they're away with the Canadian men's national team at the Gold Cup. You're seeing about 4 or 5 other regulars that are not here due to injury or just not participating in the friendly tonight. So, again, this is showing the depth that an MLS squad has. We saw that in the Canadian Championship this year against Toronto FC. We saw it in the Canadian Championship last year against the Vancouver Whitecaps. These MLS clubs have some great depth in their squad. So for Fury FC to come back in this one, albeit it's just a 1-goal deficit, they're certainly going to have to work for it, albeit they are going to have a lot more fresh legs out there. The Impact with just the 5 substitutes on the night.
Well, here's the 11 that Ottawa will use in the second half. I know Baloo has come on. We'll get to the Montreal subs in a moment, so we'll get to those in a sec. But the Ottawa Fury FC 11, David Palme in goal. It's a 3-4-2-1. The back 3 now: Andre Campbell, Ramon Martin Del Campo, and Jonathan Barden. Then in midfield, you've got Aaron Makangilwa, Gerardo Bruna, Sergio Minicio, and Jimmy Shamar Sano. Then Azake Lubiera, Cito, and the lone striker up top is Tucker Hume. James Pantemis is the new keeper now for Montreal Impact. Canadian Youth International, who's yet to make an MLS appearance, but young player with some promise. And we do see Balou out there as well.
Yeah, it looks like he has replaced Louis Bélangoyette on that left side.
Ottawa Fury FC working left to right in the second half with their away kits, the white shirts, the black sleeves, white shorts, white socks, and Montreal moving right to left in their home blue kits with the black shorts and blue socks.
But Bélangoyette is still out there, so we'll get confirmation as to the player that has come out.
Ball forward on the left side now. It is Balou. And his ball inside the 6-yard box. Dealt with by Ramon Martin del Campo. And again, I mean, I know you guys talked about Alphonso Davies, but if Canada can just show some promise here. Oh, good work here. It's Tucker Hume getting past one defender, but Lefebvre able to bail out his partner in central defense, Cabrera, and win that ball and prevent a shot on goal from Ottawa striker Tucker Hume. Back to Balou. I mean, he's got opportunities to play for Canada or Ivory Coast. Do you think it helps if Canada has a great tournament and Alphonso Davies keeps scoring goals for Canada, and all of a sudden maybe he thinks that playing for Canada might not be the worst option in the world?
Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt, albeit the Ivory Coast have been an up-and-coming African nation over the last decade now in terms of their international performances. And Balou and Alphonso Davies will have a chance to discuss things on August 1st at the MLS All-Star game, as they'll be part of the MLS homegrown match. We'll take on Chivas Guadalajara under 20 side at Toyota Park.
Free kick here for Ottawa. Of course, it was Alphonso Davies who made his professional debut in this stadium last year as a 15-year-old for Vancouver Whitecaps in that 2-0 loss to Ottawa Fury in the Canadian Championship semifinals. Played the return leg as well and was named the man of the match at BC Place in that 3-0 win to win 3-2 on aggregate. So we saw firsthand the promise that the youngster has. Youngest player to score for Canada, youngest player to score in the Gold Cup, and also the first player born. This is what makes people like you and I feel a little bit old when we hear a stat like this. First player born in the year 2000 to play in a major international competition.
Go figure. But great to see, and we've seen it on the Canadian women's side. Some young players, kind of that next generation of talent starting to come through, and it'd be great if that's what we start to see from Octavio Zambrano's side in the next couple of years.
Free kick for Ottawa, corner for Montreal that saw a foul inside the 18-yard box, and John Barden moves this into the middle for Ramon Martin del Campo.
When you think of it, they basically have, what, 18 months to get themselves ready for the next time when they'll work their way towards World Cup qualification. Maybe 24 months.
Sano, quick little 1-2, and he's got the pace to get past Lovitz. Moves this ball into the middle, and Minicio running after it now. And Minicio able to win it for Ottawa Fury.
Sergio Minicio's had a good game for Ottawa in the midfield. He's made some pretty hard runs, both going forward and in defense. And he's been in 100% on every challenge that he's gone in on this evening.
Fury with a throw, 51st minute. Score is 1-0 Montreal Impact. Oduro makes that little back heel as it comes up to Lovitz. Moved wide right and headed out of touch for a Montreal throw. Oduro gets this in. Belangoyette for Lovitz. Now Baloo. Able to beat his man Sano, and so he draws a free kick. Takes it quickly. Malice for Baloo. Lovitz back inside his own half for Lefebvre. Lovitz. Wide left, Baloo. Lovitz. Into the middle, Malice. Center circle, Belangoyette. Here's Lefebvre. His ball headed away by Barden. Sano for Barden. Takes a bounce. And Tucker Hume able to win possession, turning the ball nicely and getting this wide on the left. Aaron Makangilwa. Here's Gerardo Bruna. His ball intercepted. Belangoyette. Montreal in possession here in the 53rd minute. Interesting, just in talking to Julian De Guzman before the match, and heard this on the radio side of our broadcast on halftime, just about the fact that gives them a different vantage point. I mean, you coach and you know the system from a coaching standpoint, and Ottawa called for a free kick just outside the Montreal penalty area. That's Azake Lubiera called for the foul, but gives them just a different vantage point to play the system as a player now, and he thinks that'll be very useful for him as a coach.
Yeah, and look, you could tell the type of player that Julian De Guzman was. Always a very intelligent player, and from what we've seen from him as a coach through half a season now in USL, the respect level that he gets from the players in the squad, not just because of who he is and what he's done, but just when you listen to some of the points that he makes to the players, it's you know, he speaks their language, so to speak.
Yeah, no question. Always good when you get a fresh face right out of the game as well, just to give fresh ideas about what the game is about, because, I mean, you've got two highly accomplished players in Paul Dalglish, who's scored in every level in England and Scotland, and Bruce Grobbelaar, one of the best keepers in the history of English football for Liverpool. But good to get that fresh perspective from someone who's straight out of the game.
Well, and you're talking about a guy who's as humble a professional athlete as they come, and this is a guy who worked for everything that he got in his playing career, and he's not taking on a coaching position because, hey, I've done all this. He understands that he has to do a lot of work, and he's always willing to learn and wants to learn, and I think the players see that as well. They respect that too, in terms of the work that De Guzman is now putting in as he looks to build his coaching career.
De Guzman and Andrew McRae warming up right now, and they're set to come on in about 5 minutes time. 55th minute, it's 1-0 Montreal on a third-minute goal from Callum Malice as they look to attack through Depew. Header won by Del Campo. Sano struggled with his touch there, and Ottawa does win a free kick anyways.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Callum Malice right now, he's the reason why Montreal have anything going forward. He's been the engine in that midfield. You watch every ball that they play into him. He's directing where things go and the pace in which Montreal goes forward.
Clearly a hold there against Belangoyette. Free kick Ottawa. inside their own half. Gilwa can't run to this. On the far touchline, it will be a Montreal throw. As it comes back to Pantemis. It looks like Julian De Guzman's ready to go. So he's going to come on shortly for Ottawa Fury FC as Montreal works it on the far side. Here's Malice. Ball on the left for Balou. Two white shirts in front of him. He lays it off for Bélan Goyette. Now Malice. Comes back Cabrera. Wide right Duval. And it comes now to Lovitz. Looking to feed Depew. Bruna gets in the way, and Bruna starts the counter for Ottawa. But Balou wins it back. Here's Balou taking on three defenders, still in possession. Now he lays it off to Pugh for Balou. You can see the skill on Balou as he wins
so much pace.
A Montreal corner, and that's sent out of touch by Barton
here it
for
is.
a corner, and yeah, we're going to see Julian De Guzman for the final time as a player. 58th minute, he will come on for Sergio Manicio. And what a send-off this will be as the former Ottawa Fury FC captain and former Canadian captain gets one last match as a player. And he gets the captain's armband from Ramon Martin Del Campo as well. Has to be the captain in this last match.
And fittingly wearing number 89, the number of matches that he played for the Canadian men's national team, the most in the country's history.
Well, it is a Montreal corner in the meantime. Left-footed outswinger from Lovitz, but this is cleared out, and there is a free kick given Ottawa's way in the 59th minute. One thing's for sure, certainly looks like he's maintained his fitness. Here's Sano. And this will deflect off him out for a Montreal throw. Depew. Goes off Del Campo for another Montreal throw. Lovitz will take this. In for Malice, now Balou. Lovitz. Cabrera. Bélan Goyette. Should mention it's Michael Salazar who's moved back to right back for Montreal. Salazar there, and this will be an Ottawa throw. And a free kick given before that, so Ottawa will look to generate something from a set piece. Gerardo Bruna with his left foot.
I don't think they've gotten 10 yards all night.
No,
I don't care if it's a friendly.
Here's the delivery from Bruna. Oh, comes inside the 18-yard box. Hume with now two blue shirts in the way. Couldn't find enough room to get a shot on goal. Now Andre Campbell comes across and wins Ottawa a throw. Sano for Barden. Del Campo. Here's Bruna, center circle. Campbell back to the keeper, and Paul Main will hit this high into the air. Maybe not the distance he wanted, but he'll get a goal kick now in the 62nd minute. Fury trailing 1-0 to Montreal. Again, expecting one more sub at some point, with Andrew McRae still warming up on the touchline. That's never the easiest job as backup keeper in soccer. Everything else seems to get rotated. If you're the backup keeper, you might not get your chance to play.
Well, that's definitely the tough one. You do sometimes see it where the backup keeper will get, cup competitions, that type of thing. But we've already seen it in Ottawa. Callum Irving has been the guy. He's played in every game this season for Ottawa, played in 20 straight matches. And you look at well, you don't have to look much more before that when you saw Romuald Pézère in the consecutive games that he played for Ottawa, and despite Marcel DeBellis certainly, earning an opportunity, it was tough for him to get in when you had such a standout keeper in front of you.
Yeah, that's certainly the name that was coming to mind for me. Marcel DeBellis, who spent so much time here in Ottawa, 3 seasons with a member of Ottawa Fury FC, and he played 5 matches and was pretty good as a backup keeper. Certainly earned high praise from Bruce Grobelar on numerous occasions. Moved this year to Richmond. Moved there because he thought he was going to be the starter, and he's only seen 1 match this year with the Richmond Kickers. The life of a backup keeper. It's played back inside the Ottawa penalty area and on top of the bar, as we are going to see a couple of substitutions now for Montreal. We're going to see Hernan Bernardillo and David Chouanière come on. Louis Bélan-Goyat will come off, and the Argentinian Bernardillo will replace him. Bernardillo, lots of experience. And Oduro's going to come off as well. My apologies, Bernardello. I don't know why I wrote down Bernardillo in my notes, but nonetheless, Bernardello with experience. He's been capped by Argentina, played for Newell's Old Boys, one of the best clubs in Argentina, Cruz Azul, one of the best clubs in Mexico, Alaves in Spain, and Chouanier, another, much like Balou and Pantemis, who have also come on as subs. Chouanier has appeared for the Canadian under-20 side. Just 2 appearances in MLS for the young defender, Chouanier. 66th minute, 1-0 Montreal. Campbell lets this go out for a Fury throw. Haven't seen the announcement of the crowd yet, but expecting something around 6,500. I'll speak of the devil. It's 6,601. It's a pretty good guess by me. Good challenge there by Del Campo to win the ball, and gets right back up after that slide tackle and gets fouled.
Yeah, good hard challenge there by Ramon Martin Del Campo to win that ball against Nick Depew, and then he gets clipped from behind by Balou.
This will be an Ottawa throw near touchline. Should remind you that every Monday, Ottawa's premier soccer show looks at the world of soccer, from local club teams to Ottawa Fury FC, and of course the beautiful game across Europe and around the globe. That's Corner Kicks every Monday on TSN 1200. Had a great Mike Watts story, but I'll have to wait for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, driver's seat on Saturday. Look out. Don't worry, AJ, I got you.
Saturday, of course, it's Ottawa Fury FC hosting the Rochester Rhinos, and they were outplayed in a 1-0 defeat in Rochester just a few weeks ago, so certainly a stern test against Bob Lilly's crew.
Well, a stern one and an important one, because this is certainly going to be a club that they are going to battle with for a spot in the postseason. As if you look at it right now, and I think from what you saw at the start of the season in terms of what clubs might be on the outside looking in, you probably didn't think that Bethlehem or Charlotte might be in that mix, but Charlotte's been on an absolute tear as of late. They've leapfrogged Tampa Bay Rowdies. The top 4 includes Charleston, who've really spotted themselves a good lead, and doing that even without the services of Romario Williams, who's at the Gold Cup with Jamaica. Scored in their opening match.
Fury building up on the left side. McIngilwa with a cross, and that doesn't get past Bernardello. Campbell looks to win it back. It's stuck in, and he does win it. Here's Andre Campbell. Nice little step over, and coming across was Cabrera to snuff that out.
Yeah, you just watch Victor Cabrera there, watching the melee going on around him as everyone fights for that loose ball, and 2 quick strides to come over and slot it away from the possession of Andre Campbell, who had some great work down that left side.
Cito gets this back to Barden. Now Del Campo for Bruna. Julian De Guzman. Good ball over the top. There's the class and quality.
Still got it.
From Julian De Guzman now to Jimmy Shamar Sano. Here's De Guzman, 25 yards out. Lays it off. And important challenge that Cito just couldn't beat the defender. As Pantemis, the Montreal keeper, sends it forward. Lovitz. Now Bernardello. Malice. Bernardello, wide left, halfway line. Lovitz. Malice back to central defender Lefebvre. Montreal attack in the middle. It's Bernardello. His ball met by Aaron Mukengilwa. Now Cito. There's Julian De Guzman. Wide right for Jimmy Shamar-Sano. Barden for De Guzman. Good ball. Comes back to Barden. De Guzman. Pushed over. By Nick DePue. Hey, if you're going to play, might as well get some contact in there. No kid gloves on Julian De Guzman tonight.
Yeah, but he'll be doing laps if he gets loaned back to Ottawa, though.
That's fair. Now it's Chouanier. Malice. Bernardello. Wide left, Lovitz. 18 yards out. Stepped on the ball, otherwise might have had half a step on Barden. Fury win it. Sano just sends it back into the Montreal half as we're into the 74th minute at TD Place. And that third-minute free kick goal standing up from Callum Malice. It's Ottawa Fury FC 0, Montreal Impact 1.
Well, really going to have to work against Montreal now to create something, especially with the addition of Bernardello, and you just see his composure on the ball, and with him sitting back in the middle there alongside Cabrera and then Callum Malice ahead of them, you can see how well this club moves the ball around.
Chouanier. And they play it all the way back through Cabrera to Pantemis.
Well, and Andrew McRae just wants this ball to get knocked out of play. He wants to, he's been on the sidelines waiting to come into this match.
Get his opportunity here shortly. Is now into the 75th minute. It'll be the final substitute of the match for Ottawa. As the ball comes in for Balou. Here's Balou. Two defenders on him.
Oh, what a move.
Great move. Balou gets this into the middle, but just hung onto the ball a little bit too long as finally Bruna got across to take it away from him. But once again, we've seen a couple of pieces of brilliance here tonight from Balou, and he looks like a special young talent for sure. Canada would love to get into the fold internationally at the senior level, having already been capped at the under 20 level, but that doesn't mean he can't go play elsewhere like Ivory Coast at the senior level.
You get pace like that on either side, the likes of Blue on one side and Alphonso Davies on the other, certainly presents a difficult challenge for opposing defenders.
Well, it would usher in a new era. I mean, Canada's strength has always been at the back, starting with, you know, great keepers, most notably Craig Forrest, who led us to, well, there's two great moments in Canadian men's soccer history, really, that stand above everything else, qualifying for the '86 World Cup and winning the 2000 Gold Cup. And Craig Forrest was the player of the tournament in that 2000 Gold Cup, and we've had great keepers and great defenders, real good holding midfielders, but the attacking players has kind of been our Achilles heel. As finally Ottawa gets a free kick, but they'll be able to bring in Andrew McRae as their final substitute, and off comes Paul May.
Well, and I think the question has been is like when you saw a guy like Dwayne De Rosario retire, right, and you look at his offensive output while with Canada, you say, you know, great career. Now who's going to score the goals, right? And you saw Simeon Jackson, what he was doing in the English Premier League. Well, he hasn't been able to transition that into the international game with Canada.
Oh, here's a header on target from about 10 yards out. Tucker Hume putting that on goal, but not really troubling Pantemis. It remains 1-0 Montreal in the 77th minute. But, I mean, there have been some great strikers. I mean, you think of Alex Bunbury, Dominic Mobilio. But regardless.
But that's another name. You think of Alex Bunbury and, you know, his son Teal Bunbury. Now, you know, he chose to not play for Canada. He had, I think, a couple of options as to where he could play.
But always seems to be the Achilles heel, but with attacking players like Hoylett, and now Alphonso Davies, Kyle Larin. Maybe that can be a strength. Again, that's why I was just pleased. I didn't care that it was French Guiana as Montreal attacks down the right side. The cross inside the 6-yard box, and McRae will get to that. 4 goals for Canada. We'll take it. And remember that stretch of about a dozen games right after the 8-1 loss to Honduras, and that wasn't a terrible qualifying campaign. Played pretty well through 5 matches to get to a spot where a point against Honduras would have got Canada into the hex. But right after that, they went through about a dozen games where they scored like 1 goal. So when you score 4 in a match, we'll take it.
It was a fun thing to see, and it wasn't just the fact that they scored 4, but it was how they scored those 4 goals, AJ. And you saw the opening one from Jakovic off the set piece, and then everything was just, you know, run of play and how they were attacking the game and pressing forward. And that's the style of game that I think Canada can be so effective at, especially playing in the CONCACAF region. That's the big thing. You have to look at how you're playing and how teams that you're going to how countries that you're going to have to qualify against, how do they play? Is your style going to be effective enough to allow you to get to a World Cup and to win a Gold Cup and such?
Well, we're going in 2026. Barring a major upset at the FIFA level. And oh, here's Ballou taking it away from De Guzman. Ballou with a right-footed effort from distance. That misses the target, as Ballou has certainly been the most lively of the impact players here in the second half. '80th minute, 1-0 Montreal. Can Ottawa earn a draw? In the end, though, I think Paul Dalglish has to be happy with the way his side has performed in this friendly here tonight. And it's all, when you get to the midway point of the season, it's all about results, and they'll be looking about This game is how you play, as De Guzman has it 25 yards out. De Guzman, just trying to get this back to Bruna, but Ottawa still in possession. I guess my point is, this is the one game where the result is going to be almost secondary to the performance, because in 10th place and with 4 straight home matches, it's going to be, quite frankly, all about results starting in the second half on Saturday.
Yeah, big stretch of games, and why those 4 games are all so important is then they go on the road and play 3 straight on the road, 3 games in the course of 7 days against Orlando, Tampa Bay, and Cincinnati. Also not easy opposition.
Bruno with the free kick, 20 yards out, trying to get this inside the penalty area, but it's cleared quite easily. Ballou looking to catch Ottawa on the counter, but ball got away from him, and it's sent back by Barden to the keeper, McRae. And Fury win a throw in the 82nd minute inside their own half, trailing 1-0. As the rain starts to fall. TD Place, a very light rain. We haven't seen a lot of rain here this summer in Ottawa.
No, only has to be the record for the most rain we've had ever.
Here's Bruna. 25 yards out, and just not on the same page with the newcomer from Uganda, Azake Lubuyera. Ball went one way, and Lubuyera really stopped his run. It's a Montreal throw. Crowd urging this Fury side on, as Bruna has possession in the middle. Bruna ahead for Hume. Tucker Hume just outside the Montreal 18-yard box on the right side. Barden trying to get the cross in. It's headed away. Comes to Bruna, but Depew able to win possession. It comes back to the halfway line, and Barden has it now for Ottawa Fury as they'll win a free kick. Lubuyera fouled. This will be about 35 yards out. Bruna with the free kick, left-footed effort. Comes to Campbell, plays it inside the 6-yard box, and a half volley there from Gerardo Bruna. He got all of it, but just couldn't keep it down. It goes over the bar, and it will be a goal kick for Montreal. Ottawa's best chance is coming in the first half, but that was a pretty good one there from Gerardo Bruna.
Yeah, that ball set up quite nicely for Gerardo Bruna, and he was able to get all of it. Just couldn't get enough weight over the ball to keep it under the crossbar.
Impact look to attack through Ballou. Barden sends this out of touch now for a Montreal throw. Lefebvre to Cabrera. Vondro Lefebvre. Headed back to goal by Ottawa's John Barden, scooped up by Andrew McRae, and Fury now with 5 minutes plus stoppage time to earn an equalizer. Still looking for their first ever goal in friendly history, Graham.
Next friendly, you're in.
I was going to say next friendly, Borussia Dortmund's coming over. Or?
Next friendly, we bring Paul Dalglish and Bruce Grubauer out of retirement.
Well, I can tell you this, there's a better chance of that than seeing me out there. That's not going to happen.
His hammy's a little tight.
Everything's tight. 87th minute goal kick now for Ottawa. Launch to the halfway line by McRae, and it'll be an Ottawa throw. Andre Campbell will take it. Couldn't get it into an Ottawa player. It comes back to Lefebvre, who plays it to the keeper Pantemis. Header one of the halfway line by Ottawa's John Barden. Now Bruna for Barden. Near touchline, Sano. Balou wins it from him, but Bruna gets it right back. Bruna goes down and wins a free kick just inside the Ottawa half in the 88th minute. Fury down 1-0. Do you remember who scored the Rangers goal in that 1-0 friendly win?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask.
Wasn't Fraser Aird.
I'd like to say it was one of the Canadian boys that was playing, but I know it wasn't that.
So if Ottawa wins a penalty here, does De Guzman step up and take it?
I was going to say earlier when he made a good play there, what happens if this guy scores tonight?
Comes back to Barden. Heads it forward on the right side. And good work by Cito to don't muscle Lovitz for this ball. De Guzman's ball goes over the byline, and this is another goal kick for Montreal in the 89th minute. Impact leading 1-0. And we've got an idiot on the field. He elects to kick a ball into the Montreal net. Security's a little slow to get this guy. He's now on the grass in behind the supporters section and might get away with this. Well, at least he didn't touch anybody. Impact in possession here. 90th minute. Leading 1-0. Cabrera. Lays this forward and comes back. To the keeper Pantemis. Now Balou. And they're saying handball against Montreal. Fourth official steps up, and he will show a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time to be played here tonight at TD Place. So the rain really starting to come down now, and can Ottawa fashion a last gasp equalizer? They're in a draw here tonight. Andre Campbell to bring up McRae here, saying, what the heck? We're all in here for this draw. Well, De Guzman with a great ball on the left side. And Ottawa Ottawa's going to win a throw here as Cito
Well,
was sent in by Julian De Guzman.
They don't come much better than that, and just too heavy of a touch there from Cito. Once again, Julian De Guzman, a couple of balls that he sprayed tonight showing that the touch is timeless.
Long throw inside the Montreal 18-yard box. Comes back out to Bruna. Now to De Guzman. Right-footed shot, and he misses the target. Well, there was the opportunity for the... that would have been quite the send-off for Julian De Guzman. But as you said, I mean, he's just shown that he's got that extra bit of class. You don't play 89 times for Canada. You don't play in two of the top leagues in the world, in Germany and Spain. Not to mention what he did in MLS without having that extra bit of class that Julian De Guzman has. It's been a treat to watch him play, and certainly great to see him one last time out there in a playing standpoint, because we know he's got a long soccer career ahead of him in coaching and management with what we've seen from him so far as the final whistle goes. And it is a Montreal Impact victory. They defeat Ottawa Fury FC 1-0. Speaking of class, a brilliant third-minute free kick effort from Callum Malice is the winner in this one, and Ottawa just unable to get the equalizer. They had some great opportunities, in particular in the first half, but it ends up a 1-0 Montreal win.
Yeah, look, I think a good opportunity over the course of the 90 minutes for Ottawa Fury FC. You got to see a lot of players who don't get a lot of minutes, get some big playing time, and as we said during halftime, this is still a very good Montreal Impact side, and regardless of where they are in the MLS standings right now and what players played tonight, what players didn't play tonight, the ones that were on the pitch, they're MLS players. And even the youngster like Baloo who comes on, you see what the future is like in Montreal, and hey, perhaps even the future is like for the Canadian men's national team, depending on where his allegiances fall. That's a very good team, a very good test for Ottawa Fury FC, and hopefully that's something that is able to take their game one step higher into what I think will still be a tough contest on Saturday afternoon against Rochester.
Man of the match, well, who else could it be but the one and only Julian De Guzman? Came on in the 58th minute. I'm sure we probably would have given it to him anyways, but man, he had two or three just terrific first-class, top-level balls that you said, okay, yeah, this guy's still got it.
Yeah, look, there's so many superlatives that you can use to describe the player that is Julian De Guzman, and it's a wonderful career, and it certainly was too bad that due to injury last year that he wasn't able to kind of say, play that game. You see so many professional athletes either go out as a champion or say, hey, at the end of this year, I'm done. So it was nice to see that he got the opportunity tonight to come out, play one more time in front of the fans so he could get a proper send-off for what was a phenomenal career for club and country.
Our next broadcast comes to you on Saturday. It's a 2 o'clock start. It's right here at TD Place as Ottawa Fury FC welcomes the Rochester Rhinos to town. First of 4 straight USL matches at home as Ottawa looks to move up from 10th place in the USL Eastern standings. On behalf of our entire crew, our producer Mike Sutherland, for Tyler McDonald, Graham Ivory, I'm AJ Jakubek saying so long. Final score again tonight in this friendly match. Ottawa Fury FC 0, Montreal Impact 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.